Most creators are using dead strategies for an internet that doesn't exist anymore. And that might be why your views feel demotivating. We've generated businesses over 8 billion views in the last 2.5 years, all organically. And I want to show you the 4 viral video types that we're using right now for the biggest business creators in the world. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to use them to become the top voice in your industry. So let's break down the heavy hitters. First is going to be avoidance hooks, where you say don't do or don't say this. So let's play a few examples across industries. This first video got 7.2 million views, and pay attention to the hook.
Never say you. If you wish to sound more elegant, use one of these better alternatives.
The hook here is don't say X, say Y instead. This next video got 9.8 million views. The hook framework, don't do this, do this instead. And now this next video got 25.6 million views.
Never transfer your home into your kid's name or leave it to them in your will. You're doing way more harm than good.
The hook template on this one was never do this common thing. You're doing way more harm than good. These hooks work because of a psychological principle called the negativity bias, where our brains are much more sensitive to potential threats rather than positive information. There's also another psychological principle called loss aversion that suggests that the pain of losing something is twice as powerful as the joy of gaining something of equal value. When you start your videos with never do this or don't say this, you are immediately tapping into these survival mechanisms in our brains, which does a much better job of grabbing attention and keeping people watching. The great news as well is this is a hook type that works amazing for informative business content and can be applied in any industry in countless different ways. So here's a list of many of the viral hook templates that work the best for this. Don't say X, say Y instead. Don't do X, do Y instead. Never say these 3 words in industry or situation. Never do these 3 things in industry or situation. Never do X again until you Y. Never do X again until you know this one thing. Stop doing X, instead do Y. As you can see, the trigger words for this hook type are never, don't, stop, avoid, before, until, beware, etc. So we've shown some real viral examples and we've also gone through the frameworks. Now let's do plug and play examples of how you can apply this in 3 different industries. First, I'll give examples on real estate. Never consider buying a house again until you know these 3 things. Don't buy a house in 2026. Instead, don't rent a house in 2026. Instead, avoid this mistake at all costs when buying a house in 2026 that so many people make. And now we'll do some examples in finance. Never invest in stocks again until you do this one thing. Never pay your taxes again until you do these 3 things. Never buy a stock again. Instead, and then we have some lawyer examples. Never sign a contract again until you check these 3 things. Never sign a contract again until you add this one thing. Avoid this business contract mistake at all costs in 2026 that most people make. So hopefully you're seeing how you can use the plug and play templates to apply this for any industry. And just as a general rule of thumb in your content, focus on avoiding mistakes much more than gaining benefits. The fun part on this too is that you can also reuse these same hooks over and over and over, and then just add something different on the back end of the hook. This continues to work and actually drives more engagement when you do this with the winning hook type versus trying to mix it up with every video. By the way, if this sounds overwhelming or you want us to do all of this for you, check out the link in the description below. We'll even guarantee you somewhere between 10 million to 500 million views in the first year. And if we don't hit that, we work for free. And so in that link below, you can see more proof and get your free custom guarantee. Now let's get into pillar 2, the best advice content. So let's play a few examples across industries. This first video got 22.1 million views.
What's the best piece of advice that you would tell to your younger self?
The template it followed is what advice would you tell your younger self? Now, the second video got 5.7 million views.
The best advice I give people is your 20s are the best years of your life.
The template followed here is the best advice I give to people in their 20s is This third video got 8.5 million views.
What is the best advice you've ever had or received?
Don't try to be perfect, just do it.
Don't be afraid to fail.
If you're unsure about something, take a moment.
Don't listen to anyone.
The template it followed is what's the best advice that you've ever heard or received? By the way, this is one of Jay Shetty's top performing questions that he asks in every interview, and is consistently one of the most viral clips that he gets from all of his podcasts. These hooks work because of a psychological concept called social proof and borrowed authority. When you frame a video as the best advice, you aren't just giving an opinion, you're filtering out the noise and presenting only the gold. It signals to the viewer's brain that the trial and error has already been done for them, and there's also the curiosity gap. By labeling something as the best, it implies that if the viewer doesn't know it, they're currently operating at a disadvantage, and it forces them to stay to see if their own knowledge matches your top tier advice. This format is also incredible for building brand authority because it positions you or the person you're quoting as a mentor figure rather than another person just selling a service. So here's a list of viral hook templates that work the best for this. What's the best advice you've ever received? Mine was, the best advice I'd give to my younger self is, the best advice for industry in 2026 is actually, I've achieved X result, and the best advice I can give you is, if I had to start industry from scratch, this is the best advice I'd follow. The most underrated piece of advice in industry is, hopefully you're seeing how you can use all of these hooks in a bunch of different ways about a bunch of different topics. And so again, using the same three industries of real estate, finance, and law, let's give some actual examples using these plug and play templates. For real estate, what's the best advice for a first-time home buyer in 2026? The best advice I tell my younger self before buying my first rental property, if I had to start my real estate portfolio from scratch today, here's the best advice I'd follow. Then we have the finance examples. The best advice I ever received from a multimillionaire about taxes was this. What's the best advice for someone in their 20s trying to build wealth? The best advice for 2026 investors isn't to buy more, it's to do this. Then we have law. The best advice I give to every new business owner before they sign a single document. What's the best advice for avoiding a lawsuit in 2026? It's actually quite simple. I've seen 1,000 contracts, and the best advice I can give you is this one thing. Now also, there's a strategic tip for this hook. The key to making this viral is the contrast. If the advice is work hard, the video is gonna flop. The best advice needs to be slightly counterintuitive or hidden truth. And remember, just like the avoidance hooks, you can take one piece of great advice and wrap it in 5 different best advice hooks to see which one the algorithm prefers. Now let's get into the third type, comparison videos. So let's play a few examples across industries. This first video got 1.5 million views.
ChatGPT, $20 a month. Perplexity, $0 a month. 11 Labs, $22 a month. Speechma, $0 a month.
This follows the comparison of paid versus free alternatives. Now, the second video got 20.4 million views.
In 1970, the average home was $15,000. It is now $436,000. It has gone up 29 times.
This follows the comparison of Boomer versus Gen Z homes. This third video got 11.1 million views.
Love it or leave it, supplement edition.
Okay.
Melatonin.
Leave it.
This is using Love It or Leave It Supplement Edition. Comparison videos are one of the most powerful ways to drive engagement because they tap into social comparison theory. See, humans are more biologically wired to categorize and evaluate things by how they stack up against others. When you present 2 clear options, you force the viewer's brain to make a micro decision of which one am I or which one do I prefer. It naturally triggers people to go to the comments to defend their choice or ask clarification, which signals the algorithm that your video is sparking a conversation. Additionally, these videos simplify complex decision-making and complex topics. By stripping away the fluff and showing a direct A to B comparison, you provide high-value clarity that makes your brand look like the ultimate authority in the space. So here's a list of viral hook templates that work the best for these viral comparison videos. Option A versus option B. Which one is actually better? Why I chose X over Y for 2026. Stop doing old method, start doing new method. You see, that's also an avoidance hook. What 1,000 gets you in category A versus category B. The difference between a $100 product and a $1,000 product. Persona A versus persona B on how they would handle a specific situation. You can also do a this or that for any category or a love it or leave it for any category. So again, to help make this more real, we'll go through more examples in real estate, in finance, and in law. In real estate, it could be renting versus buying in 2026. the math might surprise you. Modern new build versus historic charm, which one holds its value better? 500K in the city versus 500K in the suburbs. Look at the difference in square footage. Now the finance examples. High yield savings versus index funds. Which should your first $5,000 go to? DIY taxes versus hiring a pro. How much are you actually saving? Traditional IRA versus Roth IRA. Which one is winning in 2026? And then for law, LLC versus S Corp. Which one protects your assets better this year? Handshake deal versus written contract. The $50,000 mistake you're making. Trademarking versus copywriting. What do you actually need for your brand? Now, a strategic tip for this video type, the best comparison videos don't just show two things, they show a transformation or conflict. And if you can make one option look like the obvious winner for a specific type of person, you'll attract that specific audience much faster. Also, use visual splits. Having text or images for this on the left or that on the right within the first 1 second is a massive visual anchor that stops the scroll before you even speak. And then we get into content type number 4, the demographic call out. So let's play a few examples across different industries. This first video got 5.7 million views.
The best advice I give people is your 20s are the best years of your life. You're young.
So this followed the template. The best advice I give to people in their 20s is, and also what you may recognize is this is the best advice hook type from earlier as well, where now we're getting ninja and we can mix multiple hook types together, which is extremely effective. So let's play this next video that got 3.2 million views.
I'm 55, and if you're in your 30s, here's some uncomfortable truths you might need to hear.
The hook here was, if you're in your 30s, brace yourself. Here are some uncomfortable truths. Now let's play this next video that got 10.4 million views.
If you're 36, you're a fucking child. You know what I was doing at 33? I was working in a liquor store.
This is one of Gary Vee's most viral content messages that he constantly puts out there, and it's been working for him for years. This hook type is the ultimate stop the scroll tactic because of a psychological phenomenon called the self-referencing effect. Our brains are hardwired to prioritize information that is personally relevant to us. So when you call out a specific age, job title, or location, that viewer's brain treats that video as a private mention to you if you fit that category. It transforms a general piece of content into a direct message. But we aren't just limited to age here. This framework works for any specific demographic or psychographic marker. Where do you live? What do you do for a living? Your income level, or even your specific business problems. So by being specific, you actually become more magnetic. You are calling your tribe out and you're filtering out the people who aren't your ideal clients, which leads to much higher lead quality. So here's a list of viral hook templates that work the best for this. If you're an age range and you haven't done this action, listen up. This is a message for every job title or profession in 2026. If you live in city or state, you need to know about this new law. If your business is doing revenue range, don't do anything else until you do these 3 things. To the demographic who feels like they're struggling with X problem. Why age group is actually the best time to start business type. Again, you can use this hook type in countless ways. Age range, location, profession, business type, income range, problem, gender, and more. And then you can even combine multiple demographics to get more specific. It's just if you get too specific with this, you're narrowing your niche too much and the video is going to perform worse as a result. Less people are going to see it, but there is a trade in the sense it's going to be more targeted for the people who do see it. So here's specific examples in those same 3 industries of real estate, finance, and law. Starting with real estate. If you're in your 20s and still renting, you're missing out on this 2026 tax loophole. Attention, state name residents. Here's why property values are about to shift. If you're a first-time home buyer making under $80,000, you need to watch this. And now some finance examples. If you're in your 30s with 0 in savings, here's the 3-year catch-up plan. This is for every business owner doing over $1 million in revenue who's tired of overpaying taxes. If you live in state, this is how you can legally offset your state income tax. Then we have for law. If you're a content creator in 2026, you are legally liable for this one thing. To every CEO in their 50s, is your state plan actually protected? If you're starting an LLC in state, don't file your paperwork until you see this. Now, a strategic tip for this hook type is the more niche a call out, the higher the conversion, but also the smaller the views. While a broad age range gets more views, calling out a specific profession like dental practice owners gets more clients. My recommendation is to balance out doing both of these. Generally, lean towards more broad and organic content, and then more specific and paid content like ads. Also, try using visual text callouts. So you can put the demographic in big, bold bubble at the top of the screen, like for California landlords, so they identify themselves even if their sound is off. Now, if you implement even one of these in 2026, your brand is going to take off. And for best results, you should do all 4. And as mentioned, if this sounds overwhelming or you want us to do all of this for you, on top of the editing, the account management, driving conversions, and so much more, where we even guarantee 10 million to 500 million views in the first year, and if we don't hit that, we'll work for free, check out the link in the description below to get your free custom guarantee. And we do also have limited spots that we can take on of clients per month. And so using the link below will also hold in your spot. Additionally, if you got value from this, do me a favor and do yourself a service and subscribe to this channel. Doing that is going to serve you more content like this that we're putting out every week. And it's also going to help support the channel where this will get served to more people if you found this valuable. So like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.